What if the one thing holding you back isn't a lack of discipline, isn't laziness, isn't even motivation? What if it's something quieter, something almost invisible? What if real clarity isn't missing from your life, but buried under constant noise? Noise from other people, noise from opinions, noise from urgency that isn't real. You speak when silence would protect you. You react when restraint would serve you better. You explain when no explanation is required. And every time you do, a small amount of your energy leaks out. You don't notice it immediately, but over time, it leaves you tired, scattered, and unfocused. The ancient Stoics knew this. They didn't chase clarity. They guarded it. They practiced one habit relentlessly, a habit so quiet that most people overlook it completely. But that habit separated those who drifted through life from those who led it. Today, you're going to learn that habit, and once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. The modern condition. Let's be honest about your daily life. You wake up, before your feet touch the floor, your hand reaches for your phone. Messages, notifications, news, someone else's opinion about something that doesn't affect your life at all. And without realizing it, you've already surrendered control of your attention. The day hasn't even started, and your mind is already reacting. At work, it continues. Meetings that could have been emails, colleagues venting about problems you can't fix, constant pings pulling you out of focus. You're busy, but not effective. Moving, but not forward. Then there's the talking. You talk about your plans before you've taken the first step. You share your struggles with people who don't have solutions. You defend yourself to critics who will never be satisfied. You explain. You justify. You announce. And you call it being open. But what you're really doing is giving your power away. El moderno estado de cosas. Seamos honestos con su vida cotidiana. Te despiertas. Antes de que tus pies toquen el suelo, tu mano alcanza tu teléfono. Mensajes, notificaciones, noticias, la opinión de alguien más sobre algo que no afecta tu vida en absoluto. Y sin darte cuenta, ya has entregado el control de tu atención. El día ni ha empezado y tu mente ya está reaccionando. En el trabajo, continúa. Reuniones que podrían haber sido emails. Colegas desahogándose sobre problemas que no puedes solucionar. The energy leak. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Every word spoken too early dilutes momentum. Every unnecessary explanation drains energy. Every time you check what others think before checking what you think, you hand over authority. You live in reaction mode, not directing your life, responding to it. And deep down, you know this. You feel the scatter. You sense the drift. You know you're capable of more focus, more clarity, more control. But your attention is divided into 100 directions. And the one thing that could change everything sits quietly in the corner, waiting to be noticed. Stoic insight. Living outside yourself. Los estoicos tenían un nombre para este estado. Living outside yourself. Allowing external events, opinions, and chaos to dictate your inner world. The opposite of freedom. The opposite of sovereignty. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." He wasn't writing for an audience. He was reminding himself, because even emperors fall into the trap of reacting. Epictetus taught his students, it's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it. The habit revealed. Here it is. The habit that changes everything. Focus on yourself. Stay silent. Not forever. Not socially withdrawn. Strategically. Focusing on yourself means directing attention only. Setting the foundation. This habit doesn't require motivation. It requires restraint. It doesn't make you popular. It makes you effective. When you stop explaining, you conserve energy. When you stop reacting, you regain control. When you stop announcing, you execute quietly. And something begins to shift. Your mind slows down. Your focus sharpens. Your actions become deliberate. This is the foundation. In the next section, you'll see how this habit works in real. Why silence feels uncomfortable. There's a reason this habit feels difficult at first. Silence exposes you. When you stop talking, you're left alone with your thoughts. No distractions, no performance, no external validation. Just you. And for most people, that's uncomfortable. Because silence removes the mask. It forces you to confront questions you've been avoiding. What do I actually want? What am I wasting my time on? Who am I trying to impress? Why? Talking becomes a way to escape that discomfort. Reaction becomes a shield. But growth doesn't happen in noise. It happens in stillness. The difference between reacting and responding. They're not. They're reacting. Reaction is automatic, fast, emotional. Response is deliberate, measured, controlled. Silence creates the gap between stimulus and action. That gap is where your power lives. Without it, real-life application, work, and criticism. Imagine this. Someone criticizes your idea at work. Old version of you reacts immediately. You defend, you explain, you justify. You feel tension rise. New version of you pauses. You don't rush to speak. You ask yourself, is this useful feedback or emotional noise? If it's useful, you take it quietly. If it's noise, you let it pass without resistance. No defense, no drama. And something interesting happens. The situation loses its power over you because silence refuses to feed chaos. Silence and emotional control. Silence is not suppression, it's regulation. When something triggers you, pause. Don't speak immediately. Feel the emotion without obeying it. Most emotions want expression. Few deserve action. Silence lets emotions burn out without burning your life down. This is how you stay calm in situations that break other people. Not because you don't feel, but because you don't surrender. Silence and emotional control. Silence is not suppression, it's regulation. When something triggers you, pause. Don't speak immediately. Feel the emotion without obeying it. Most emotions want expression. Few deserve action. Silence lets emotions burn out without burning your life down. This is how you stay calm in situations that break other people. Not because you don't feel, but because you don't surrender. The shift that begins here. When you practice this habit consistently, something subtle but powerful happens. You stop feeling pulled by opinions, pulled by urgency, pulled by noise. You begin to move from the inside out. Your days become simpler. Your decisions become clearer. Your energy stops leaking. You speak less, but when you do, your words matter. You react less, but when you act, it's intentional. This is the transition phase. Entering self-direction. At this stage, something important begins to change. You stop feeling like life is happening to you. You begin to feel like you're... The morning practice. Silence first. Your day no longer starts with reaction. It starts with stillness. Before screens, before messages, before anyone else's agenda. You sit in silence. 5 minutes. No input. Attention as a discipline. Most people think discipline is about effort. It's not. It's about attention. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If your attention is scattered, your progress is scattered. If your attention is focused, your results compound. Silence trains attention. It removes unnecessary inputs. It filters noise. It teaches your mind to stay with one thing at a time. That's where depth comes from. That's where mastery is built. Attention as a discipline. Most people think discipline is about effort. It's not. It's about attention. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If your attention is scattered, your progress is scattered. If your attention is focused, your results compound. Silence trains attention. It removes unnecessary inputs. It filters noise. It teaches your mind to stay with one thing at a time. That's where depth comes from. That's where mastery is built. Saying no without explaining yourself? No long justification. No apology. No story. Just clarity. I can't take that on right now. That doesn't align with my priorities. And silence. You don't owe access to your time, your energy, or your focus. Every unnecessary yes is a hidden no to something that matters more. Silence protects your priorities. Inner stability. As days pass, your emotional world stabilizes. You're no longer thrown off by every comment or situation. Not because you don't care, but because you choose what deserves care. You feel grounded. Calm doesn't come from control over life. It comes from control over response. You're developing an inner center, something steady, something reliable. In the next section, we'll explore how this inner discipline changes your relationships, your confidence, and how others perceive you, without you trying to change anything externally. Stay with it. You're building something real now.
How others begin to see you. At some point, people start noticing something different about you. Not because you announce a change, but because your presence changes. You're calmer, less reactive, more grounded. You don't rush to speak. You don't jump into drama. You don't explain yourself unnecessarily. And that quiet confidence makes people pause. When you do speak, they listen. Because your words aren't trying to prove anything. They're deliberate.
Relationships without noise. Your relationships improve without you trying to fix them. When you're with someone, you're actually with them. No phone, no half listening, no planning your response. Just presence. You stop engaging in gossip. You stop reacting emotionally. And something interesting happens. People feel safe around you. Not because you solve their problems, but because you don't add noise to them. Silence becomes respect. Confidence without validation. Most people chase confidence by seeking approval. You're doing the opposite. Your